What's good, guys? BRC in the building, back at it again with the sensitivity settings video. And these are for the people that asked me, because there has been a lot of people in the stream that have asked me to make a sensitivity settings video since PUBG for some reason reset every single setting back to default. So for those of you who don't remember what your settings look like, I'm going to explain each one so that way you can get your settings back exactly how you had them, and if not exactly, at least as close as possible. For those of you who would like to know my settings, they will be pinned in the comment section below, so feel free to check them out. I say this in all of my sensitivity setting videos, that yes, you can copy mine, feel free, but everybody is different. Everyone uses a different sensitivity, so it's better off finding what's comfortable for you. And without further ado, let's get on with the video.
Oh!
Started off, first and foremost, I'm always rocking Type B. Type B has just been my go-to in every shooter game I played. Hold down the left trigger, aim down your sight. LB would be the option to aim over the shoulder in Type B. Type A would be slightly different. You would have to click left trigger in order to aim down your sight and hold left trigger to aim over the shoulder. Type C is a whole new ball game, so we're just going to continue on. Dead zones. Dead zones are probably the hardest settings to explain. When you have a low dead zone, that basically means the slightest touch in a certain direction with your thumbstick will get your aimer going. And the higher up you go with that dead zone number, the more pressure you would have to put on your thumbstick to get your aimer moving. The easiest example I could give you is put your dead zone to 5 and just slightly touch your thumbstick and see if your aimer moves. 100% it will move. Increase dead zone to 30 and see with that slight touch, will your aimer move? It probably won't move right away, but the more pressure you put, then it will start gradually going. The higher up you go, put it to 100, you would really have to move that thumbstick in a certain direction really far one way to get it going. That's the best way to explain it so you could really do it and understand it yourself. Forward running sense. This basically is just your character running in a straight line, forward, one direction. I have mine right in the middle because I like to zigzag every so often, especially when I'm dodging bullets, trying to make it so somebody can't hit me. This isn't too important in your game, but the biggest hint here is to just make sure you're always zigzagging out on the battlefield, because as soon as you run in a straight line, you're an easy target. Movement sense is the speed your character would walk or run. The lower the number, the more pressure you would have to put on your left thumbstick to get your character really moving. The higher the number, the less pressure you'd have to put on your thumbstick to get your character moving. There's no real advantage on this, but I have mine right in the middle. That way for any situation, I could run or walk when need be. Vertical sensitivity multiplier. Guys, this is basically your recoil control. This controls your up and down sensitivity movement. If you lower it, it will be slower. If you increase it, it will be faster. And if you keep it at 100, it will be the same exact as your horizontal sensitivity. Now guys, I know there's a lot of people who like it slower, and I actually recommend it if you're having a tough time controlling recoil to make it lower. But you have to make sure that when you're scoped in with the sniper, it works the same way. It will be slower up and down compared to your left and right. And if you have it higher than 100, it will be faster up and down compared to your left and right. So make sure you get some practice with this, see what's comfortable and go from there. General sense, guys, this is basically looking around, looting, seeing where enemies are. This is a general sense. I don't like mine too slow and I don't like it too fast. Right in the middle is perfect for me. There are some occasions when people have it too fast and they try to zoom into a sniper too early. They tend to look in one direction a little bit too far, so they kind of have to reset. So I like it a little bit slower where I can still, so to say, flick on an enemy when need be. Vehicle driver sense. Basically the same thing as general sensitivity, but instead you'd be in a vehicle and you'd be looking around, holding free look and looking towards the gunshots or wherever you think enemies are. Aim acceleration, guys. Another hard one to explain and understand. Aim acceleration is basically an increase in speed when you hold your thumbstick in one direction for a good amount of time. This is really tricky to figure out, so I recommend just going into training mode, putting it at 0, putting it at 1, putting it at 5, putting it at 10, and putting it at 20. And just casually aiming down your sight and pushing left on your aimer and just hold it that way and see the increase of speed for each of those numbers. Do the same thing to the right. See the increase of speed. This is really helpful for enemies who are running left to right or vehicles moving left to right. You could really figure out aim acceleration with those situations. Over the shoulder aiming. So I was explaining this before. Type B would be LB. That's over the shoulder aiming. I feel like in a lot of situations this is a lot slower than any other sensitivity setting. So I feel like I have to increase it just a little bit more than any of the other sensitivity settings I have. And now my optics, guys. My main one is the 1x. That would be an iron sight, hollow, or red dot. That would be the main one I would assume most people use. You know, I used to go up and down with this all the time. At one point it was 17, it was 13, it was 3. Now I have it at 7. I feel like just slow and control is the way to go, especially with my vertical sensitivity multiplier at 100. It's just much easier to control with any weapon I use, especially with me using a wide array of weapons. I'd like to keep it slow. That way I can control it at any time. Same concept for 2x scope. If you're a 2x scope user, same thing as a 1x explanation. A little more slow and controlled, just enough so you can control that recoil. And if the opponent moves left or right at the last second, you can still just have a slight movement. Keep your aimer in close quarters of them. Onto the 3x, which I feel like is similar to over the shoulder aiming. It seems a little bit slower when you aim down the scope, so I have mine at 12. Practice your 3x scope, 4x scope sprays, guys, especially with 5.56 weapons. It's a huge help to your game. Practice those sprays. 4x scope I have at 7. The reason behind this is because I use 4x scopes more often on snipers, so I do like to have it a little bit slower. That way I kind of control it and have slight little movements when need be to get those banging headshots. Same concept with the 6 and 8x scope. And then the 15x scope, still broken I would assume, so I never messed with that. But guys, if you have any more questions, hit the comment section below or come hang out on my Twitch channel when I'm live and ask me questions that you're curious about. The link will be in the description below, so please swing by, ask anything you want, or just hang out. And that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Don't forget to leave a like, comment if you have any questions, and sub to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, y'all. Peace.
Come on, baby.